Welcome to an inside look at business economics and public policy from the Kelley School of Business. First, we would like to introduce our group members. Our first group member is AJ Sood. AJ grew up in Carmel, Indiana, and he is currently majoring in international studies and pre-med. Our next group member is Colt Kitchen. Colt grew up in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and he is currently majoring in tourism, hospitality, and event management. Our next group member is Wilson Pawhood. Wilson grew up in Carmel, Indiana, and he is currently majoring in business from the Kelley School of Business. Our next group member is Adam Brenner. Adam grew up in Suffern, New York, and he is currently majoring in finance. Our next group member is Jack McKay. Jack is from Illinois and he's currently majoring in business from the Kelley School of Business. Our last group member is Matt Backer. Matt grew up in Plainfield, Indiana, and he is currently majoring in accounting. So what is BEPP? BEPP is Business Economics and Public Policy, and it is a department within the Kelley School of Business. In this department are two undergraduate degrees, Economic Consulting and Public Policy Analysis. In the field of economic consulting, students will gain skills in analytical thinking, decision-making, and economic forecasting techniques. They will be responsible for mastering classes such as workshops on economic consulting, sustainable enterprises, and specialized topics in economic consulting. The field of public policy analysis is based around the idea of how government policies has an effect on business. Students will also be responsible for understanding technical analyses, speechwriting, and company publications. In this field, such classes include business enterprise and public policy in the international economy. What careers can business economics and public policy lead to? Well, within economic consulting, students have been hired at firms such as McKinsey & Company, Boston Consulting Group, and Bain. In public policy analysis, students have gotten jobs in governmental firms, business firms, and non-governmental organizations. Kelley prides itself on the fact that 95% of seniors with economic consulting or public policy majors find jobs before the winter break with very competitive starting salaries. To explore this field further, we decided to conduct a series of interviews. Our first interview was with Benjamin Foley, who is currently a student at the Kelley School of Business. Ben is majoring in business economics and public policy and currently has an internship at PwC. We first asked Ben why he chose business economics and public policy. Ben answered that this major would help him pursue a career in consulting. In addition, this major provided him with the economic skills and networking that he would need to attain a good internship. When asked how is this major different from other majors within Kelley, Ben answered that it challenges students to be more analytical. Our next interview was with Steve Kitchen. Steve Kitchen is a small business owner. He's the owner and president of Convertistep, All-Terrain Conversions, and Accessible Trucks. Steve wanted to create wheelchair-accessible vehicles other than minivans, so his three companies are used to create wheelchair-accessible trucks. Public policy plays a major role in how he can manufacture these trucks. The NHTSA, or National Highway and Traffic Safety Administration, regulates which materials he can use to construct different components of his trucks. The ADA, or American Disabilities Act, is a piece of legislation that influences the car height and ramp length. The next person we interviewed was Ann Mertlow. Mrs. Mertlow was the former CEO of Indianapolis Power and Light. She worked with IPL for a total of 9 years. She's currently a Class B director at the Federal Reserve Bank of Chicago and also the president and CEO of her own consulting firm, A&M Consulting. Mrs. Mertlow said that business economics was very prominent in the energy industry. She said that energy demand was directly related to economic data, such as growth in the economy due to business or population growth. In addition, efficiency was very important to IPL. She was constantly interested in increasing the efficiency of not only her machines, but also her employees. However, factors such as competition were not important to the company. IPL was granted the franchise area of all of Indianapolis and did not have to deal with major competitors. Public policy also played an important role in Mrs. Mertlow's job. The energy industry is highly influenced by state and federal regulations, such as emission standards. In addition, Mrs. Mertlow was constantly interested in finding new ways to provide clean energy. We then asked Mrs. Mertlow why business economics and public policy is a good field to enter right now. She replied that it is important for students to work with the business model and apply analytical and critical thinking skills to solve different problems. Overall, it is clear to see how business economics and public policy are the best majors within Kelley School of Business. In this major, students will learn critical thinking and analytical skills. In addition, they will understand how government policy influences business. This is a great major to choose when thinking about entering a career in consulting. Through the example of Ben, we saw how business economics and public policy can lead to good internships, such as the one at PwC. Through the example of Steve Kitchen, we saw how public policy influences the production of his goods. Finally, through the example of Mrs. Mertlow, we saw how not only public policy, but also business economics are important at the CEO level.